Are you looking for something to watch and binge but you have no idea where to start from? I want to explain to you why Stargate SG-1 is worth your time and effort without spoiling anything.
Does she please you, my love?
Sorry, sir. I didn't realize you were there.
Yeah, this section of the text seems to deal primarily with their arrival on P4X 639. O'Neill, what the hell are you doing? In the middle of my backswing!
You stupid son of a bitch.
You're welcome. You just killed the only chance we'll ever have of stopping them. I'm sorry. But this is the way it had to go down. And you know it.
Previously on Stargate SG-1.
Welcome to Cool Rants, and why should you binge Stargate SG-1? Now it has about 10 seasons and 214 episodes. And in short, first 8 seasons, fantastic. First season a bit like 90s cheese, but believe me, the characters are so relatable. The story is epic. The comedy is fantastic. The characters are great. And the comedy is not the awkward millennial style that we have nowadays. It's comedy based on real three-dimensional characters that have different values and opinions and experiences, and them navigating challenges together.
Sphere, planet, label, name.
Following still you, not.
Proclarouche Teonas.
But I know because it looks like 90s cheese, it's really hard to start it, especially because of the first few episodes, but trust me, we're going to kind of explain to you why it's worth your time. The core team consists of 4 members. All of them have their unique strengths, flaws, and just philosophy for life. And this is the entire point, that they clash and evolve throughout the entire series. Now, teal'c is a former soldier, essentially. He was raised to serve gods known as the Goa'uld, the main bad guy. He turns against them to free his own people, which are called the Jaffa, making him both a warrior and a rebel. He's physically unmatched in the team. He's deeply knowledgeable of the enemy tech because he uses it, but actually he wasn't really ever trained to engineer it. He just knows how to use it. The other side of him is he's very singularly focused. He has his own code, his own beliefs, and he will do anything and everything to reach it. His deeper challenge is he wants to fight to free his people, but because of it, his family's suffering, his people are suffering, so he has a huge burden on his shoulders about that. Also, yes, he's the voice of Kratos from God of War.
I am Christopher Judge, and I play Kratos. Fate only binds you if you let it. Do what is necessary, not because it is written.
Now, O'Neill is kind of the main character of the show. He's a seasoned leader and soldier with a sharp mind, hiding behind a layer of sarcasm and humor. He plays the character of the dumb soldier, but don't be fooled. Behind the one-liners is a man shaped by trauma. That pain drives him to be fiercely protective. He's my childhood hero. He's the real MacGyver. Anyway, that's MacGyver. Sam Carter is kind of the scientist of the group. Despite that, her brilliance, she's also a very capable soldier and pilot, actually. She's trained for battle, but she's not the strongest in the group, nor necessarily the most assertive. She excels in logic and science, but sometimes is too focused on ones and zeros when you just really need a clear, practical answer right now, yes or no, do this or that, but then she's still thinking about theory, right? She has this unique blend of like very creative thinking and also kind of rigid because of this. But truly, she's the reason why this team can function in this sci-fi universe.
2 weeks ago, SG-1.
We've done this. We do this every day.
Now, Daniel Jackson is in many ways the heart of the team. He's the only civilian, he's a linguist, archaeologist, kind of a humanitarian as well. He's driven by conviction and ideals. He believes in doing the right thing no matter what, even when it's really hard. His bravery doesn't come from weapons and training, but from standing his ground, even in the face of power. But that moral compass can also be a weakness. It sometimes makes him slow to act in battle, make hard choices when there's really no good or right answer. It's just horrible in another version of horrible, where O'Neill would excel, and he will just make the choice no matter what to survive this moment right now.
Decisions made.
This mission has never had anything to do with helping them, has it? We came here to help ourselves.
Carter, take Daniel back with you. Tell Hammond we struck a deal.
Yes, sir.
You don't give a damn what's gonna happen to them. You want their technology and you're taking advantage of their situation.
Yes, I am Daniel.
They're getting something they want, we're getting everything we want. At what price?
In hindsight, these characters may sound like tropes. Teal'c is the strong, silent type. Sam is a capable woman in a man's world. Jackson is the nerd, and then O'Neill is the jock. I get it. But this is 90s television. These archetypes are not used as tokens or stereotypes. They're used as frameworks for deep three-dimensional characters who have different beliefs and experience and logic, and that makes them clash and learn from each other. I'll give you a few examples of like setups where you'll really see their differences. There's one situation where a rogue alien AI essentially it has infiltrated the military base of Stargate Command. Daniel is debating that it doesn't seem like this is just a machine sent to kill them. It seems like a completely alien program. They don't understand. Remember, they might meet some things that are like comprised of gas, or they're not just humanoid creatures. So you have to keep an open mind. What is to be alive? So Daniel is arguing it might be sentient. It might be just trying to survive. It's reacting to outside stimuli, trying to preserve its own life. These are things that when you're sentient. Whereas Sam Carter, she only sees essentially ones and zeros. She's like, no, it's just a program sent here to do something. I don't know what, but it doesn't prove that it's sentient, even if I don't understand it. There's just no proof of consciousness. Teal'c doesn't hesitate. It's a threat, so we fight it. Now O'Neill is the leader. There's a classic situation where O'Neill will be frustrated at Sam for not giving a yes or no answer, and then Daniel will always argue with him. Is this morally correct? Is this morally correct? But it's O'Neill's job to take this information that his team has provided him and make the hard choice. Doesn't matter if they will hate him or love him. Recap of the story, lore dump, spoilers for the 90s movie. They discover an object called the Stargate, a huge gate. Turns out this gate is actually a device that creates a wormhole that makes it possible for humans to travel to other planets. So with this in mind, we find out that Egyptian pyramids are landing pads for spaceships, and the Egyptian gods were actually aliens that came down to space. Yes, the 90s theory, but I love it. It's cool. In the movie, the linguist, Daniel Jackson, he's the one who cracks it finally, so then the device works. They go through a lot of human history, morality, where do we come from, and in this other planet now, an alien lands on the pyramid on that planet, which happens to be Ra, the sun god of Egypt. And in a very 90s style, humanity has to beat it by nuking it to death. Yeah. Humanity prevails. Daniel, with his new passion for this entire universe, is reported dead, and he stays in the planet because he met a local woman, and O'Neill goes back to Earth. That's the movie. So where the show now begins is the Stargate is in storage. They found a code system where they could travel to one planet, but they hadn't found other planets yet. But suddenly this gate actually turns on and more aliens come out, and the aliens attack humans and also kidnap some humans. Bum, bum, bum. So now we have a situation where humans have a reason, again, to look at the gate. This proves something very dangerous and scary, that there are other alien creatures in the world. Because we kind of assumed we killed one of them, so I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. So now we have a reason that we need to go to space. First of all, to save the humans that were kidnapped. Second of all, to find out what's going on. And then third of all, the big mission is to find alien technology to defend humanity against this alien threat. O'Neill is called back. He creates a new team. He goes back to the alien planet and meets up with Daniel. Also an important note, in the movie, O'Neill forms a very close relationship with a local boy called Skara. You can understand he lost his own son. He meets this young boy. He's very protective of children in general, and it reminds him of his own son. And in season 1, episode 1, the Goa'uld, they kidnap Daniel's wife, Share, and Skara. And this becomes a huge motivation for both of them to go through the Stargate. It's not just about saving humanity, it's their own personal vendetta and saving the people they care about. And here we have the classic season 1 nudity. We never ever get anything like this ever again, but I mean, hey, she's gorgeous, whatever. And obviously you can imagine that humans killed Ra, a god, so the other aliens are kind of like, what the hell happened, and they're more curious. So now humans have kind of like made themselves a mark, so they need to defend themselves. Quick recap, who are the Goa'uld? The Goa'uld are the main bad guys in this show. There's multiple different alien species. Each episode has its own storyline, but then a season has its own overarching theme. The Goa'uld are a parasite that need a host to live in, but also they have a genetic memory. This means that their children are born with all the knowledge that the previous generations had. So imagine passing down your understanding of digital technology to your children. They're already ahead of everybody else, right? And how much information you could gather. But also, you've been born with millennia of warfare, manipulation, horrors, good and bad. So you can imagine how that can warp your sense of self compared to humans. And they can live to be about 500 to 5,000 years old. So they call themselves gods, like Ra, Egyptian gods, Chinese gods, various different ancient gods. Some live to be a lot older because they have alien technology like sarcophagus technology that heals them, so they can be actually like 10,000 years old. Eternal life, constant healing, it starts corrupting them. They become paranoid, tyrants, megalomaniacs, you could say. They're essentially like sci-fi vampires, constantly bickering and fighting, taking each other out, backstabbing. So this kind of keeps them in balance, that they can't totally take over the world because they're just too busy killing each other and fighting and all that. But here's where teal'c's species come in, called the Jaffa. They're, I guess, humanoid creatures that were genetically manipulated to have a pouch in their stomach where they will hold the parasite larval Goa'uld. And when the larva grows up, they will be taken out from the stomach pouch and put into another human host, which is why they need human slaves all the time. And then the Jaffa soldier will now put in a new larva in their stomach and incubate them, I guess, so they will grow up to be big and strong. And it's a pretty perfect slave species, because how do the Jaffa free themselves? Because if the Jaffa kill the Goa'uld, the Jaffa will die. The Jaffa need a Goa'uld larva in their stomach. It's a symbiosis in that sense. So that's a big question for teal'c and the Jaffa people. How do they free themselves? Season 1, is it worth binging, especially if there's a little bit of this early pilot episode cheese and cheapness? I don't know about you, but for me, when I watch a lot of shows, I know that I need to watch at least 5 episodes. Go watch Attack on Titan and watch 5 episodes, you're hooked. The American Office, the pilot, the first season is a bit rough, but if you like that kind of humor, if you just stick with it, it just gets better and better and better. So this is the motivation for the show. I want to quickly explain what a show is and what you need to go through in the first season so you know is it going to be worth later down the line. The first season's strengths and weaknesses is the 90s cheese, but also its simplicity. Their drama comes from characters being genuinely different and finding common ground and growing. It's about their principles, not politics. Honestly, it's kind of like a Saturday morning cartoon for grown-ups. And as you survive the first few episodes, it starts building up and asks real questions. What makes us human? When should a soldier not follow orders? And what's right to a scientist, researcher, soldier, warrior? Now, little disclaimer, I'm going to give you an example of a very heavy topic in the show. O'Neill is a prime example of this. Behind his sarcasm and witty jokes is a man who's suffering. In the movie, we learn, which is explored more in the show, especially in season 1, I think episode 7, that he lost his son in a terrible accident with his own loaded pistol. His marriage couldn't survive it, and ever since then, he's used humor to cope with it and keep people at distance. And sometimes he throws himself into danger like a man who has nothing left to lose. He's a soldier who follows orders, but more than that, he's a father who lost his child and willing to do anything to protect other children.
I think in her heart she forgave me for what happened to our kid. She just couldn't forget.
And what about you?
I'm the opposite. I'll never forgive myself. But sometimes I can forget. Sometimes.
But in a more lighthearted moment, there are also super funny episodes. You can imagine 10 seasons that there are some episodes, for example, I don't want to spoil any of the great mysteries and ideas and thoughts in the show, but there's one episode which is kind of like Groundhog's Day. So you can imagine teal'c and O'Neill's actors are fantastic and funny. You will never get caught. What would you do in a military base? Really funny and lighthearted episode.
All right, here's the deal. We're all stuck in a time loop of some kind. Now, there's this alien device on 639. It shoots a beam at the Stargate, which, at subspace something, what?
Accesses the subspace field the Stargate is capable of generating. It is powered by ionization.
In the atmosphere, right, which is caused by... I know this one. Magnets.
This appears to be a reference to the gradual generation of the machine itself. Sorry, sir, I didn't realize. 3 fries short of a Happy Meal. Whack!
You realize this is a little difficult for me to accept.
Hey, if it was just me, I'd agree. But what about teal'c? Come on, is this the face of a crazy man?
I don't want to lie, the first episodes are a bit rough. The 90s costume, the cheap sets. There's an infamous episode 4 called Emancipation, which is a planet that they visit where women have no rights. It's pretty heavy-handed and a bit awkward, especially in today's world. A lot of people hate it. I don't think it's actually a crazy topic because they are literally traveling to other planets with different species and people and creatures. So it's not crazy to go over how would the squad deal with the situation like that. But generally, it doesn't really fit the theme of the characters that well. It's a bit heavy-handed. It's a bit rough. You can maybe skip it. It's fine. But hang on until like episode 8. Like I said, episode 7, 8, that starts being pretty interesting. By then, O'Neill starts bonding with teal'c. We see more O'Neill seeing the potential in Daniel of not being just a bookworm, and also him respecting Sam as a soldier, because there's a interesting scene where O'Neill is trying to build his own team. He's forced to have Sam, and she walks in. He's like, "Oh my god," and she's like, "What? You don't like me because I'm a woman?" He's like, "No, I hate scientists, you idiot." It doesn't say that, but that's essentially the point, because again, he's a very yes or no person, and scientists never give that kind of answer, so he doesn't like it. There are a ton of shows, spin-offs, and movies. Quick recap. Stargate SG-1 started 1997, runs till 2007. It has 10 seasons. And then there's 2 movies about Stargate SG-1, the squad with the same characters, with the same actors, with the same storyline. 2 movies that came out in 2008. Stargate SG-1, The Ark of Truth, and Stargate Continuum. Also, there's a show called Stargate Atlantis. Atlantis is a spin-off show that started in 2004 and lasted till 2009. And also, it has the legendary Jason Momoa.
Specialist Ronan Dex.
Now, in my opinion, it's the classic milking everything dry you can. As a huge Stargate fan, I think everything ends in like season 8. Essentially, the order and you're supposed to watch them is Stargate SG-1 from season 1 to season 8. And then you can start watching Stargate Atlantis. Stargate Atlantis has its own team, its own enemy. It's mostly separated from SG-1, but in season 1, there's a little overlap. Then after that, you can watch Stargate SG-1 and Stargate Atlantis at the same time. If you want to binge everything, then watch Stargate SG-1 season 1 to 8, then watch Stargate Atlantis, and then you can come back to Stargate SG-1 season 9 and 10. After both shows, then you can watch the 2 movies about SG-1, Continuum, and Ark of Truth. Now, as a huge Stargate fan, I'll be perfectly honest with you, this is my opinion. Atlantis deserves its own video. The best of Stargate SG-1 is from season 1 to season 8. That's where they close most of the big storylines. There's kind of new themes that come after that, and as some characters' situations change a lot in season 1 to 8, it doesn't feel the same in season 9 and 10 anymore. Then you have 2 more seasons if you want to watch. Then you have an entire spin-off show if you want to watch, and then you have 2 movies if you want to watch. But they're not mandatory, in my opinion. And obviously, since you're watching this video, watch the 90s movie. The first movie ever about Stargate came in 1994 called Stargate. Just watch it. It gives you essentially the premise of the show, but you can watch Stargate SG-1 without it. They essentially go over everything in the pilot episodes anyway. Closing comments. Stargate SG-1 is a truly entertaining, epic story with really fun and relatable characters. It's 90s style, it's genuinely diverse of thought and style and person and character. They solve problems together, which creates very unique drama and comedy and action. It has very deep storylines, relatable storylines, and also huge cosmic storylines. Try to survive the first 7 episodes, and if you hate it, don't watch it. But if there's anything there that you like, especially O'Neill or the other characters, it is worth a watch, and just binge it. Just have it in this background while you're doing something else. There's definitely enough stuff to watch. So, have you ever watched Stargate? Which episode is your favorite or moment? If you enjoyed this, please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And thank you very much for watching. Thank you. Bye.
I'm back. What happened? Do you still possess the knowledge of the ancients?
Nope. Don't remember a thing. But you know that meaning of life stuff? I think we're gonna be all right.